Okay, so welcome to this next session, and in this session basically we are going to discuss some other methods, that is on the job training and self paced training. You remember before that we talked about classroom presentations and experiential learning as an effective methods to deliver training programs, right. And finally, we have on the job training and self paced training, and here we are going to discuss about these methods and how they could be applied in delivering the training program effectively. Now, if you look at on the job training means this kind of job, this kind of training is given while a person is doing the job, right. So, he is not away from the organization, he is actually in the work context, it is provided, and that is why it is known as on the job training. There are certain benefits of the on the job training compared to off the job training, like in on the job training the person is there only. So, that is going to be more cost effective. Okay. The experts could be in house, because it could be very senior and experienced manager who is going to provide this kind of training, because they know how to perform certain jobs in a better way. Now, if you look at this on the job training, you have to see what are the various things or activities that is to be carried out, or what are the various methods of on the job training. So, it includes job instruction, job rotation, coaching and mentoring. Okay. So, these are the 4 methods which could be done while a person is doing or performing the job, right. Now, as I told you, the on the job training, it means that a person is going to be trained while he is working on the job. So, it is been done on a regular workstation. Similarly, you will be in a better position to transfer your learning on the job, because this is what you are being taught. So, basically on the job training is not just passing on the information, but it is more apt when you are trying to see that certain skills are being learned by the trainees and they are able to transfer it on the job. So, they are told that how to transfer skills on the job, right. Then the third point is that with it is less cost effective, okay, because you do not require a classroom or other infrastructure resources. The only thing that certain sometimes that in a factory environment or the working environment, okay, that kind of say environment, the physical and the psychological environment that is required for this kind of training may not be available. A physical environment, like there is noise in production need, okay. So, it is going to reduce the effectiveness, because there could be lot of noise and you will not be able to learn, or you will not able to concentrate and focus on the things. It could be psychological in nature, because sometimes you will find that people are watching you while you are being trained. So, you become more conscious, think that if you are not able to learn, people will laugh at you. So, these kind of distractions may be there while on the job training, which sometimes reduce the effectiveness of the training program, right. But still it is very popular, okay, and sometimes that you need to compromise the quality and safety, because when you are learning certain things, okay, and you do not know, then maybe and the people are at risk, okay, and sometimes you are when you are, if you are in the production department, sometimes it may be possible that you are not able to produce product quality as specified by the standards, right. But it has certain strength in the sense that yes, it is actually a real life learning in a real context, real life situation on the job, and you can apply the knowledge and skill that you have learned immediately on the job. So, these are the 2 major strengths of any on the job training program, right. But the weakness is that there is no formal structure, okay, and you can make a lot of mistakes while learning, right. But looking at the learning this kind of learning experiences, you have really good strength, because that is very effective in certain cases, and that is why it is applied, okay, in many cases. Now, if you look at on the job training, so what actually happens? First of all, you have to break down the job into important steps. Okay. You have to prepare the necessary equipment, materials and other things, and then you have to see that how much time you will be able to devote on the job training, and when you expect the employee to be competent in the job. So, starting with the first stage to the last stage, you need to make all the preparations, so that instruction is effective, and then after preparation you go for actually instructing the individual that how to perform the job. So, you tell them the objective of this task, and then you allow him to see that how this is being done, right. Suppose there is a belt or a machine, and then you want him to learn that how you are going to use this machine to produce certain things. So, first of all what you do, you yourself are going to demonstrate that okay, this is how this job is to be done. Okay. And then in the process he becomes an observer. Okay. He is going to note key points or the behaviors that is important, and then again you are tell him that okay, see, now you have learned that, see, this is how it is to be done. Then you ask him to do it step by step and see that at which step he has made mistakes, and then once he has learned all the steps, then you ask him to complete the entire steps in one go. Okay. So, you allow trainees to complete the entire task, okay, and if he has done well, you must appreciate it. Okay. If he makes mistake, but do not scold him, right. You tell him that okay, this is what is the mistake and this is you need to re-practice, okay, unless you are able to do it perfectly. Okay. So, the idea is that if he is able to do it effectively, praise it, appreciate it, tell him okay, very good, you have done it very well. But if he is not able to do it, okay, do not scold it, you give him time and space and allow him to relearn it. Okay. So, again you tell him okay, how this is to be done and ask him to do it, so that he is able to learn it. Okay. So, the basic idea in on the job training is to make him learn how to perform a job effectively while doing his job actually, right. So, this is the most important in understanding certain skills, that how the job is to be performed, right. In most of the technical training, it is very important, right, when it comes to skills related to technical training, and that is why for technical training on the job is very important, right. Now, we will discuss some of the on the job training like job instruction training, where you are giving instruction to the people about how to perform the job. It includes certain steps, as I told you, like the first stage is that you need to make worker ready to learn certain things. So, make sure the person or the trainee or the participant who is going to learn is fully ready physically and mentally, and he has the right kind of learning attitude to start learning. And if he is not prepared well, probably he will not be interested, he will not show any interest, and probably it is not going to help the learner to learn. So, the idea is that to make sure that his need is identified and he is prepared well to take up the job, right. Then at the next stage, what you are going to do? You are going to present the task. It means that you are going to see that okay, this is the task that you are going to learn. You specify the task that is to be learned, and you also see that why this task is to be done. So, that he understands the importance of the task, and the third thing is that is you tell him that how this task is going to contribute to performance, right. So, there are three things that is important for him to prepare well and to take up this job, is that you tell about the characteristics of the job, why this is to be done, okay, what is the importance, what are the things that you are going to do as a part of this task, and in what way it is going to contribute to the performance, right. So, once this is done, then you are actually ready, and then you go for presenting the task. So, once the task is presented, then you allow him to practice the task. Okay. So, when you are going to presenting the task, giving the importance, and then you also go for a demo that okay, this is how the things are being done, okay. And actually you practice and do it as a trainer, okay, and then you ask him to do it, practice the task. For example, suppose you are going to learn driving. Okay. So, if I give you a lecture, okay, these are the things that is to be done, and this is a handle, this is say clutch, this is one thing, this is another thing, and this is how it is to be used when you are going to drive a car. This is the brake, this is the clutch, this is the speed, okay, this is the handle, and this is how it is to be done. Probably you will not be able to learn. So, when you are going to learn driving, the best way is to learn it on the job. So, what you do? You sit beside that driver, and he is going to teach you the okay, this is how we are going to do it, okay. And he is going to once you are ready, he is going to present okay, these are the different tasks that you have to carry out in order to drive it effectively. So, you carry out each of these tasks, he is sitting with you. So, once he demonstrates, then you practice it, and while practicing, if you are making certain mistakes, then he is going to tell you okay, no, this is not the way to do it, this is how it is to be done. Okay. Then again you take the driver's seat, and then okay, this is how it is to be done. So, for each and every activity that is related to driving, it is not only known to him, but he must practice it in order to become perfect. Otherwise, what will happen? Okay. He will not be able to drive, he would put people at risk. So, all kind of things may be there. Okay. So, this is the best example that I can give related to this, and then you follow it up okay. Regularly. Okay, this is how I have been improving. So, gradually as and when you practice this job, what actually happens? You become perfect okay. And then you do not make mistakes, you follow every step correctly as given in the practice book, and then you are able to perform the job as and when it is required, right. So, the process is that you observe the process while it is being demonstrated, you discuss it with him okay, what is this, why it is to be done, go for brainstorming, then you analyze various options, what else needs to be done. If this is a problem, okay, what I can do. Suppose you know that okay, if you are not able to control certain things, then what are the options that I have, right. So, you should be able to identify that, and finally, you should be able to implement yourself on that any task that is given to you to perform. So, that you are able to do it well, and then ultimately you evaluate the result, and gradually you make adjustments to become perfect on the job, right. So, these are the steps and processes on the job training. Another important method is job rotation. Job rotation is something that is actually done that you are going to use the same set of knowledge and skill to perform different kind of job in different context, but the level of knowledge and skill that is required in a job rotation is same. Job rotation training is given to people so that you become multitasks. So, you can perform different type of tasks using the same set of knowledge and skill base. Now, if you look at job rotation as such, you will find that you are going to be trained on different tasks, different activities, different positions, okay. Especially at entry level managers, this can be done, okay, so that they become multitaskers, okay. Okay. And it also helps to backup. For example, in a production department somebody is not there, so you also know how to do it, so you can provide a backup to that person, right. So, and you know that in many places you will find that this job rotation is on a regular basis, and this actually helps you to create more challenge, meaningful sometimes you in order to avoid what you call the monotony or this kind of boringness. You take up these kind of things, so that people are going to perform different type of tasks using the same set of knowledge and skill base. Like for example, in banks you have seen that people are being rotated to different jobs. Somebody is sitting on the ATM counter, so maybe in the draft counter, he may be in the foreign exchange counter, right, or could be go to the loan counter or the cash counters, right. So, the same person is being rotated to different jobs. What actually happens in the process? He learns everything. So, suppose on a particular day one person is not available and you are there. So, you could be shifted to that job, provided there are people and that need to be served, right. So, job rotation is very important in the sense that it really helps you to learn different kind of activities or tasks that you have to perform, but the only drawback is that you are going to use the same set of knowledge and skill base to perform that job. Here you do not learn or upgrade your knowledge and skill base, but you are able to apply the same knowledge and skill to perform different kind of activities. Okay. Moving from job rotation, we are going to talk about another important concern, that is coaching and mentoring, though we will discuss it in detail about coaching and mentoring as separate topics, but that is also a part of what you call on the job training, because coaching what actually happens, you are going to coach the person on how to do certain things, and mentoring again it is one to one, where a senior person is going to help you or a junior person to help to see that how his growth and development takes place. So, if you look at coaching and mentoring, that is very important in the sense that there is a worker and the supervisor, and supervisor is going to coach you. So, he is going to ensure that okay, you have a specific performance improvement and you are able to correct your mistakes, and that is where the coaching takes place. The best example that I can give, suppose there is a team, okay, football team, and there is a coach, and he is going to train people and how to do certain activities. So, you know that as a part of the game you are going to perform different activities while playing it effectively. So, he is going to tell you that how you are going to coordinate, how you are going to hold the ball, how you are going to throw it, and actually he is going to perform these kind of activities, and then he asks you to do it, right. and then he sees whether you are able to improve your performance or not. And if you are not doing it properly, if there are certain mistakes, then he tells you that no, this is not the way to do it, right. So, this is how you are going to hold the ball, this is how you are going to throw it, right. This is how you are going to use your legs, this is how you are going to use your head, right, and you have to see that you are not going to make mistakes in the process. So, all these things have to be taught by the coach to the players, right. So, that there is specific improvement in the performance and they are not going to make any mistakes. So, coaching, it could be one to one or it could be one to groups, and that is what we call team coaching. But anyway, we are going to discuss about coaching in detail. So, another important thing is mentoring. Mentoring also we are going to discuss in detail in the next week sometime, but here what I want to give you an idea about what mentoring is. Mentoring is something that is where a person is known as mentor and who is a senior employee, and then you also have a mentee, and this mentee is a junior employee. So, you are going to tag them together with each other. The idea is that the senior employee is going to help them to learn the tricks of the game, the ropes, that how he can go for his personal growth and development, personal and professional growth and development. So, he is going to prepare the protege. Protege is the person who is to learn, that is the junior employee or the trainee or the mentee, right. These are the different terms that could be used for the protege. So, the idea is that the senior employer or the mentor is going to prepare the mentee by telling him what are the things that need to be done, and in the process he is also keeps the line manager in the loop. Sometimes your senior managers could be your immediate boss could be your mentor, sometimes it is some senior manager from other department who is very experienced and knowledgeable, okay. He could be your mentor. Organizations have more structured mentor programs or what you call a formal mentoring program, and they also go for what you call informal mentoring program. So, both kind of mentoring programs are organized by the organizations. In informal mentoring, what happens? You decide and select your mentor, and formal mentor organization decides you are going to be paired with which mentor, who is going to help you to see that personally and professionally you grow up. Okay. Right. So, mentoring and coaching is also a on the job training, and we are going to discuss it in detail in next 2 weeks, and that is why I am not going to emphasize it much here. Next is self-paced or what we call self-directed learning. Self-directed learning is something that is new, where employee take the responsibility for everything that is related to learning, right. So, they get the content and then they decide how they are going to learn, when they are going to learn, who is going to be involved in the process and these kind of things. It means you are going to learn anytime, anywhere, any place. Okay. It could be virtual, it could be physical, whatever it is, but the idea is that you take the responsibility and you decide when and how you are going to learn it. Okay. So, the advantage of self-paced or self-directed learning is that you are going to learn at your own pace and get feedback, right. Then it does not require much trainers, okay. You can take help of the computers, okay. And the cost is very less because you do not need to travel or there is no cost associated with other kind of things, infrastructural resources. Okay. What you require is the training material that is to be learned and how you are going to provide feedback, right. And then you do not need to shift employees from one place to another place to see it, because at their own place they can get it. But there are certain disadvantages is that sometimes trainees are not motivated to learn on their own unless they are forced to learn. Okay. Sometimes the development cost is very high. For example, this NPTEL courses are self-directed, where you are going to learn on their own, but here certain incentives have been added, like if you learn it well, you perform well, you get a certificate, right. So, it can be modified at that cost, okay, but still development cost is very high, but once it is developed, the other costs become very less, it is reduced, okay, significantly. Okay. So, self-directed learning is very good, and nowadays you know that multimedia and e-learning is also used, okay, here. Okay. So, either you have a hard copy where you give them certain instructions, you tell okay, this is what you have to learn, this is what you have to learn, remember, and then you come back and tell whether you have learned it or not. Okay. Okay. It can be done where you do not have internet access, but if you have internet access, you can go for computer based instructions, right, or computer based training programs. The idea of self based learning is that okay, you are going to follow it at your own pace, whether it is computer based or text based, right. Then the extent to which you have been able to learn is going to decide your progress. So, suppose there it is under certain modules. So, unless you are able to learn module 1, you will not be able to move to module 2. Okay. So, at every stage you get feedback and accordingly you proceed further in your learning process. Okay. And there is not much interface okay. From the instructors. The moderators may be there, and sometimes you know that he is going to say okay, this is your feedback, this is what you should have done. Okay. In addition to that, there is not much feedback or interface with the instructors or the moderators. Okay. Now, this self based or text based learning has been replaced by the computers, and that is why we have more computer based training, right, which is very popular. You know that lot of languages related to say programming is being learned through this computer based training, right. It is more interactive. Okay. Training when and where you wants it. Okay. For example, you know that a lot of online courses have come up today, where you are going to learn at your own pace. Okay. You have more control over the progress. So, you can decide when and how you are going to learn these things, okay. But definitely you have a broader time frame within which you have to learn, and it also provides the progress. So, after each module you know that how much you have learned, okay. And then there are certain specific objectives that you have to meet at each module, and if you have cleared that module only then you will be allowed to move to the next level of learning. So, you work at your own with not much facilitation by the instructors, who might be sitting somewhere else, and then this training is offered to a number of people, n number of people, okay, provided they have internet and computers, it could be done, right. And there are a lot of variations, like you have computer aided instructions, then you have e-learning, then you have intelligent CAI, intelligent computer assisted instructions that are very popular these days. So, what we are going to discuss now is computer based instruction training or instruction. It could be classroom based or it could be virtual also, right, both cases. So, when we are talking about computer based training, it could be given in a group. Okay. For example, sometimes we are teaching certain statistical programs and how to run it. So, everybody is sitting on the terminal connected with the internet, and then the teacher tells you okay, this is how we are going to do it, and you also do it. So, you are going to do it. So, it could be group based, where you are going to learn certain processes, and instruction is present, instructor is present here, and he facilitates computer based learning. He is telling that okay, this is how you are going to do it. So, okay, perform the next action, you do it on your computer and check whether it is correct or not. Okay. Suppose you are going to write a computer program, okay, in a particular language. So, instructor is there, you are also sitting on the front of the computer, you are writing the code for the program, and he is telling okay, this is how you have to go and see whether it is correct or not, and gradually you proceed to see whether your code is correct or not, and then you get feedback from the instructor whether you have done it in a proper way or not, right. So, this is class based computer training, where what you require is nothing else but computers and internet, which is connected with the computer for each training if you are having a classroom. Now, you know that computers have been replaced by tabs, mobiles and these kind of things. Okay. So, even that can be used without much help from the computer say instructors. Okay. So, another variation of computer based instruction is computer aided instructions, where you do not have a facilitator or instructor. The computer itself is going to provide you certain instructions that how to go about it or proceed. Okay. So, you practice and then he is going to tell you, and then again you correct yourself, then he is going to tell you. At each and every step you get feedback, which is already actually inputted, this feedback is already a part of the system. So, that you do not require a facilitator or instructor for doing this kind of job. Then lot of multimedia courses that is being offered by different kind of like MIT, IITs. So, these multimedia courses are very popular, and that is where you are going to learn at your own pace, at your time, and when you want and how you are going to do it. Okay. So, these are the best examples that I can give you of these computer aided instructions. Then you have more interactive multimedia learning, where actually sitting at a distant place you can ask questions. Okay. So, it is not one way communication, but it is a two way communication. So, that you ask the questions using a video conferencing and then you are going to answer the questions. The participants will be actually able to interact with the instructors who is sitting somewhere else, and at the same time he is going to interact with a set of trainees. Okay. And so, it is if you have this kind of facility, it is really good, and you will be able to interact with a set of people who wants to learn, or it could be simulated also. Okay. For example, these could be probable questions and this is how they are going to ask. So, you prepare them well in advance. So, as the remit comes out, okay, you tell okay, this is the answer, this is how you have to go about it, and you can also give feedback in that way, right. What is the advantage of this computer aided instructions is that you are going to be interactive with each student. So, any student in the class can ask questions if he has a doubt. Okay. Through this video conferencing, this teleconferencing mode, provided both of them are connected through internet, you are going to learn it at your own pace, or sometimes if the instructor is not present. So, you can pose the questions, he is going to answer the questions either in a virtual mode or otherwise also. Okay. Sometimes that if you are not able to be physically present, then you use blogs, forums, discussion forums, these kind of things to interact with the people. So, they can pose their questions, you can answer these questions, okay. And that is how this interaction takes place in most of the multimedia courses. Okay. The learning here is self-paced, which means that you are going to be motivated enough to learn on your own, and that is the most important thing. But it requires certain logistics like internet, and you have to see that it is going to be distributed. The courses are being distributed, and you know that most of these courses now which is being offered in this online courses through NPTEL are uploaded even on YouTube, so that you can go through it. And then the discussion forums available through which you can ask questions. So, this is the best way to explain actually this computer aided instructions that is being done. Okay. And then you are able to manage instruction and reporting how well it is going on, right. And it is very cost effective, except that development cost is going to be very high. Next is e-learning. E-learning basically nothing else, but where you are going to use intranet to assist you in the learning process. And this internet basically helps you to better communicate. You can provide online things, references or any activities. You can even assess the need, administer tests, and evaluate the people how well they are doing. Okay. And then you can distribute this computer based training. Okay. So, that you do not require a classroom. So, when people are sitting at home having computers and internet facilities can watch these multimedia courses online, right. So, these are the best benefits of having e-learning. And then intelligent CI. Why we have use this word intelligent computer aided instructions is that you are using certain programs, advanced programmings relate to what you call artificial intelligence or machine learning, and then you make computers competent enough to provide instructions to the people as and when it is required, and also interact with the people to say to tell him or give feedback what is to be done, how it is to be done. And that is where you basically take the role of artificial intelligence and machine learning. And nowadays, you know that this kind of technology is going to be used in this kind of profession to ensure that computers are able to help you to give you directions, to give you feedback, to tell you how you are doing, and if you have certain questions, they would be able to answer even those questions. But all this data has to be fed, and the computers are going to be more competent and competent in coming days to ensure that you are able to perform your job more effectively. So, you are using things like expert systems, fuzzy logic and other kind of programmings, okay. And it can even provide real life simulations and stimulations to the people who want to learn certain things. Then now we have discussed different kind of methods which are basically related to three categories, if you remember, that is on the job training, classroom training and experiential learning. So, once you know about these methods, their drawbacks, their advantages and disadvantages, in which context it is to be used, then ultimately you go for implementing that training, right. And a decision about a particular method that is to be applied or used in delivering the content depends upon the objective of the program, what are the resources that is available, what kind of trainings you have, what are their training needs, expectations, their attitude and behavior. And some other considerations that you need to look at is whether you have the environment, okay, seating, comfort level, physical distractions, and depending upon what they are going to learn, you decide about a particular method that is to be used for delivering the content in a training program. So, ultimately you are going to select a particular method. Okay. So, once you have been able to identify the particular method, so you make sure that in what way it is going to help people to learn, right, that is more important, and see that how, the extent to which this method is going to facilitate learning and transfer training. So, selection of method depends upon whether people will be able to learn and apply that on the job or not, and accordingly you decide about the training program, training method. And you also look at the cost that is related to the development and the use of the method, because provided you have resources, you can go for better methods. If you do not have resources and development cost is very high, then you can avoid those kind of methods. So, there are certain constraints which do not allow you to go for the best method. In that case, you can use the appropriate method, which will help you to learn in a better way. That is all. Thank you very much.